the podcast about all of those sad songs that make us oh so happy. I'm your host, Cavi, and this podcast is brought to you by Screaming Infidelity's Emo Night.
BC trees lie west, where Moses always play second best.
All right, Emo Kids, welcome to episode 1 of Cry About It, a podcast about sad songs that make us happy. Tonight, I'm joined by my partner in crime, DJ Hersh. What's up, Hersh?
Howdy.
So Hersh and I go back a long way. Tonight we're going to dive into that. We're going to talk about what he thinks of emo music. We're going to give him some emo quizzes because he doesn't really come from that scene. So I think it'll be interesting to see what he thinks. And we'll talk about emo nights and what we have coming up after that. So guys, without DJ Hersh, there is no emo night. I don't do much. I send him kind of a playlist and I do the promotion, but he's kind of the skills behind it. So Hersh, we met a long time ago.
Yeah.
I think the first time we met was at the Sherman Theater
Yes.
at the Asher Roth show.
What year was that? 2012-ish?
No, 2008.
8? Damn.
I was definitely still in college. I think it was my first senior year of college.
Your first senior year?
First senior year, second junior year, however you want
Gotcha.
to go about it. But you were DJing for Gino Lispy, right?
Yep. That was a big show.
It was a huge show, yeah, sold out show. And I managed a pop punk band at the time called I Am Legend, and we got to chatting before the show because they really wanted to play a cover of the Ninja Turtles, and they wanted a rapper to freestyle over it, so they kind of fit the show a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah. Forgot about that.
But yeah,
That was like the big thing, the Ninja Turtle song. Damn.
the Ninja Turtle song, and then they threw they were sponsored by Drank Energy Drink. It was like a anti-energy drink. It like had serotonin in it or something to put you to sleep. But they gave a bunch of tall boys to them, and they threw them into the crowd and hit some girl in the head and like split her open. And we got like basically threatened with a lawsuit, but she was a big fan of the band, so they gave her like a T-shirt and a CD sign, and the dad like let it go.
Wow. I don't think you ever told me that story.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it for a long time because I was like the Sherman Theater was pissed. I don't think they ever played there again.
Wow.
I was pretty mad at the band because I was just like that's got to weigh 3 pounds.
Yeah.
You're just launching tall boys in the crowd.
Are they still around?
No.
No?
They had a good run. We got a couple label offers, put out a good solo or independent release, and then the one offer it got weird, and then the band just kind of dissolved, and then the lead singer he had a lot of success with another band called the Lion Face Boy, and they did some stuff, but no, I don't even know that any of them are doing music at all anymore, really.
Wow.
What?
Dang.
Yeah, they were. I was just listening to them the other night. Really good band. But yeah, that's how we met. Did you were you at the bar afterwards?
Yes. Oh yeah, we went to what was it? Where did we go? Like the home base or something like that?
Front row, I think.
Front row. Yeah.
Front row, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a good time.
Yeah, I just remember Asher Roth making them play his CD the whole time we were there.
It just, talking to girls and doing whatever he wanted.
Yeah, and MTV was there, filming.
You have a way better memory than I do.
I almost got in the fisticuffs with the reporter from MTV News.
Who, Kurt Loder?
No, it was like he was like the British guy that they used. He was like younger, and he was all up on Amanda, and
I think I do remember that now. Jesus. You bring it all back, man.
It was a whole scene. Caused quite a scene there. But yeah, so that's the first time I at least remember us meeting.
Yeah, for sure. That was it.
And then from there, I think it kind of throughout the years our paths crossed a bunch. You DJ'd a couple times at Rigby's when I had the club, I think.
Yeah, we had the band up there again afterwards to do a show and a few other things here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
dang. And I think we I was always a big proponent when you were pushing for the DJ stuff. When Guido was doing the original music showcase,
Right,
we
right,
kind of
right.
crossed paths there. Yeah. Story. Um, and then kept in touch over the years and talked a lot. And then you DJ'd my wedding.
Great wedding. Fantastic.
Phenomenal wedding.
So it's always good when you when the bride and groom let you take the cuffs off and do whatever, you know what I mean?
I think that's what we so like I was super excited when you kind of like reached out and were like, hey, like I do weddings, because I didn't know, I didn't know where to start with that. And especially at that point I had been down here for a couple years, so I didn't even know where to start. But we knew we didn't want like I didn't want a wedding DJ. Like that, not well, I don't want to put down wedding DJs, but just like I
No,
didn't
you
want
can. It's fine. It's
a cheesy guy with an iPad like playing the cha-cha slide, right?
it exists. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think our wedding, for years people would just talk about like they didn't really grasp that could happen at a wedding.
Right.
Like especially like the no request thing, and like I
Oh
remember,
my
the first
God.
couple songs, like people's minds being blown when you didn't play the whole song.
Yeah, like what happened here?
I remember
Like,
specifically shots. I think you like went into something else, and I
oh,
think one of my
I,
aunts had a bit to drink, and they just like play all the shot songs. But
yeah,
yeah, we had a blast, and I mean that made the wedding 100%. And like I think the whole thing of just letting you go for it. Like we had songs that we requested, but we kind of just were like, hey, like here's our feel, and go for it.
by the way, that that sign that you made
Yeah.
has been taken by 4 or 5 other brides since then.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. They were like, "Oh my God, that's incredible. Can we do that?" And yeah, go ahead, go for it.
Yeah, for
I'd
sure.
love that.
Yeah, tell them to send me a check. But, so what Hersh is referencing, we put a little sign in front of him because I have an eclectic family and friends, and I didn't really want them to pick the music at my wedding. I had all faith in Hersh and the list that we had come up with together. So we put a little sign up front that said, "This is our friend Hersh. He's not he's not a jukebox. He's a DJ. We got this," or something like that, right?
Yep, for sure.
And he did. He had it. I mean, you
Kill
had people on the dance floor, even in the midst of me in the middle of a fist fight at my own wedding. So
it. Yeah,
it was great.
I remember that. Oh, so there's a fight over here. We had to break up a fight. The family.
Who's in it? Oh, the groom and some
Yeah.
guy he never saw
Oh
before.
man,
That dude.
unbelievable.
Never saw him before, never saw him again,
Right?
thankfully.
And it was still great.
It was still a great wedding. Amanda didn't even know what happened. My wife didn't even know what happened. So that's good. Most people didn't know because they were all on the dance floor having a blast. Only me, the kid, and one of my groomsmen that headbutted him. That was about it. But it was fun. And then I mean, so I don't know if you totally remember the incarnation of like when we decided to do the emo night. Do you kind of remember how it came about?
Um, it was before the music conference. What was that, like 5 or 6 years ago?
I think it's gonna be like, so this September it will be 5 years.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it was like, yeah, I think this would go over big. We're gonna play a bunch of songs that we used to listen to years ago. Blah blah blah. Wasn't sure if it was really gonna happen, and then it did, and it was enormous, happening in the tiniest bar in Scranton,
Yeah,
and the rest is history.
I think that was key because we were able to get like the right people in there, like a lot of the right people.
Yeah,
But then I think
yeah,
the photos and the word spread because it was
yeah,
just such like if we had done that in like a big room the first time and there were only 100 people there, I don't know that it would have snowballed to that
right.
effect. But yeah, so the idea came about like kind of as a joke, kind of as like a give back to the bands. Like we wanted to throw a party for the bands that were playing the Electric City Music Conference. And I was like, well, I know a lot of these bands that were like of partying age at that time, like definitely came up on emo music. So I was like, well, we'll try this. I know they're doing it. They had just started like getting big in LA and Brooklyn. I was like, well, we could try Scranton. It's like Brooklyn without any people in it. So like we could try it. The architecture looks the same. And we did it at the Bog, which all credit goes to the late great Brian Craig, because I think I had asked a couple other people and they told me I was crazy, that it wouldn't have worked. And he was just like, yeah, do whatever you want. Like go for it, man. And we tore the place apart the first year.
So good. It was incredible. It really took me by total surprise. I'm not used to having that kind of thing happen when I'm playing. I mean, yeah, people party and they have a good time and stuff, but not that level of interaction.
Yeah, I mean, it took me by surprise too. And I think about like 5 songs in, I was like, okay, well, let's see how far we can push the sound guy here with his equipment and start because I mean, if anybody's ever been in the Bog, you're in a little tiny stage in the front window of the room. It's like probably a 4x6 stage, maybe.
Yeah.
4x4, and they put wicker chairs basically in front of you, and there's monitors on those wicker chairs, and then there's a couple mics. They put a couple mics up there. I think I said I didn't need them, but thankfully we had them because a couple people were kind of looking sideways. They were nodding their heads. They were digging it, and then I just started like pulling up onto stage like people who were singing along, and that's when everybody was like, wait a minute, we can get on stage and sing. And it kind of just I think it spiraled from there, and then never really looked back from that.
Yeah, seriously, that I mean, there's not many things that take off organically like that. You don't see that, you know.
Yeah, I mean, year one, I mean the first 2. So we did one, and then we waited basically a year to do another one.
Mm-hmm.
And they both were huge and didn't spend $1 to advertise it. It was just like create a Facebook event, send it out. Year 2, there was like a line around the block to get in, and we were like, oh, okay, maybe we should start thinking about doing this a little more often.
Yeah, maybe something's going on here.
And then I think you were approached, or somebody approached us about doing, I think the first one we did that wasn't at the Bog was at Sununus.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a pre-show or like a ticket giveaway show for
was
Professional, maybe
for Alt. I think it was Alt.
Yeah, it was an FM
Alt
Kirby
92.
show.
Yeah.
All Time Low or Dashboard Professional or something like that.
I think it was Dashboard.
Dashboard, yeah.
Yeah.
And that one is when I think I realized, well, it's not just Bog kids. Like this can work wherever, right? I mean, we had people like crowd surfing.
I think it was that first show that's Nunes that we realized we could really pull them from wherever we're gonna be. They're gonna go.
Right. And that's when I think that was the first time we did confetti, and we did some. So we had lights for the first time there, and we kind of started making more of a production of it. And that was the first time anybody tried to crowd surf. I remember that was a scary moment.
It's a hard floor in there.
If we're at a small bar like that, doing an emo night, don't crowd surf. There's no need for it. Stage class maybe get away with it, but small place like that there wasn't. But it was kind of neat because you DJ at Sununus all the time.
Yeah.
For a long time, right?
Yeah, I think I'm coming up on 7 years there. Whenever we get back to it, you know.
And you have a good relationship with them, and I've been doing you're just your normal DJing there, like your club. I guess club. What do you call it? Like club DJing or?
Yeah, well, everything. We play everything for you know on the weekends when college is in.
So that was like kind of a stretch for them to try something new, right?
Yeah, they I mean they didn't really know. They were really skeptical about it. You know, they don't usually do anything that requires a cover or anything like that. So when we approached them about doing that, they were like really apprehensive, and we're like, well, you really think this is gonna gonna take off. It's gonna be good. I'm like, well, we do, but you know, that first night, and then they pretty much begged me to come back.
I remember, is it Rose? Right?
Mhm.
That's the one of the owners.
Mhm.
I remember like getting a water, like, but I had to walk all the way to the back and across to like the end of the bar to get it. And I think I was Facebook friends with her, but I didn't really know her. And she
Mhm.
just like came up to me and like patted me on the back and was like, "This is really different and really cool." And she was really excited about it, and that was pretty neat because a
Yeah.
bar like that, like they're a corner bar, they're established business, they're respecting the community. They didn't need an event like that, but it was neat to see them accept it and be like, this is something different and cool. And I think what's cool about the crowd that we bring out, and I mean I've heard it from basically every place we've DJ'd, is that the people who come out are respect it, like they're respectful.
Mhm.
They want to have a great time. They drink like fish. They actually tip, and
Yep.
they're like people that they don't normally have. Like they're not normal people that go to that bar.
Correct.
You know? Which I
All the above, yeah. And if you do that at a bar, uh, you're golden.
yeah, and I mean legitimately, I think every place we've gone, I've gotten that feedback, which is neat. And I kind of attribute it to like I don't know that the people that come out to our shows go out every weekend. They might be a little bit more of a homebody, so when they go out, they're going out. They
Yeah.
might be, they might be moms, they might be dads, they might, work a job, or they just might be homebodies because that kind of, that's kind of a more of an introverted person that comes to the emo nights and or that likes emo music. And so I think when they go out, they go all out, and I think we've seen that
Yeah.
pretty often.
Yeah, they go out, and it's not something you typically hear when you go out, if you do, you know?
Right.
So, that's very different, and I think that's part of the appeal of it.
Yeah, I think so like years ago, like I wish we started this when like I was in my 20s, because like I would go I was a person who went out. I like to indulge in my early 20s and had a good time, but I would always be standing around listening to like just music that didn't appeal to me. So something like that would have been really cool to have, instead of me just being like I'd go to Floods in Stroudsburg and put on like a Taking Back Sunday song, and like it would make it like 4 chords and somebody would skip it. Like the bartenders would hate it and they'd skip it.
Yeah.
So like it never really worked out for me. So that I think it's neat that it's not something you want to do every weekend, but it's cool to have that like every couple months for somebody.
Yeah, for sure. For
And
sure.
then I mean you've been kind of instrumental in us spreading. I mean we went to Reading and we went to Lancaster,
Yeah,
and we did like like Philly area suburbs. I forget that it was at Doylestown basically
something like that, yeah.
out there. And those were off your back. How did you go about pitching that to those places?
Well, let's see. I have, previously done nights in those places before. I have a good rapport with the resident DJs in both of those places. And I said, you know, uh, listen, this thing works. It's going to be a crowd, like all the things you said. They're going to come. They're going to have a good time. They're going to party. They're going to do it right. They're going to tip, you know. And I'll show you what we've done and how many people we've put in these places just off of the strength. And like, okay. And I mean, some of them they were, again, skeptical, but they allowed us, and we went and, show and prove. First ones went off at every place, and, they all asked us to come back.
Yeah, that's what I think's been neat so far, especially for me to watch, is that we haven't had one flop. Um,
Oh,
in markets that like it's it's always tough when you're doing anything in your home market 'cause it's like something off of like people, I know people, we're both so ingrained, it's like easier for us to get the word out, but it's like what's going to happen when we go to Lancaster, for example, like what's gonna happen there? Well, I mean, our first time in Lancaster, we were on a second floor, kind of in a corner,
Yeah.
with like tables turned in front of us, like we were defending the Alamo or something, and it was insane.
Yeah.
It was
Seriously.
it was awesome, and again, like I mean, whenever we walk into these places the first time, I think even the bartenders and the bouncers and everybody are kind of like, oh, it's an emo night, like they don't know what to think about it. And then they're at the end of the night, they're like, when are you guys coming back?
Yeah. Every time.
It's kind of what I've experienced, and I mean, I think Lancaster especially has been super successful for us, and I think it's a good market because it's like there's a couple colleges there. There's a like really hipster art scene like downtown, and there's always been a really strong like pop punk post hardcore. I mean, Under Oath's from there, or no, they're not. August Burns Red's from there, and Texas in July, and CI Records and stuff. So I think it was like a perfect storm. But that was, I mean, we've done bigger. Now our biggest emo nights have been Lancaster, bigger than Scranton. I mean, population base is bigger to draw from, but I mean, when we did the main room, we were jammed wall to like front to back, and
Yeah.
it was probably like six, seven
Yeah. I
hundred
don't know
people.
how. Yeah. I don't know how many, but it's a lot. More than they definitely even they expected, even for the second time.
Yeah, which
So
was pretty exciting, and I think it's neat. Like you said, I get to meet your DJ connections when we go to these places, and I really like Eddie. He's just a really cool dude, and
right.
like even watching him just be like come around to it and be like, whoa, this is different and cool.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. He's a good guy. Uh, another just another guy that I wish again as somebody else that I wish I met sooner to do things. He's a lot like me down in that area, uh, and very respected and very well known down there. We could have been doing things like this for a long time if I had known.
Yeah, for sure. And then I think so. Then we went up to Reading.
Hmm.
Cannot remember the name of the place right now though.
Building
Um,
24.
Building 24. Yeah, yep. And we got surprised when we got there,
Hmm.
and we got put in the front room, which is super fancy.
Yeah, it's like a lounge ish type scene.
With like
Like not no dance floor or anything like that. It's bar and tables, like a small little area maybe where like 8 people could dance, but that's about it.
big center like island bar, and folding glass doors so it opens up
Oh
like,
yeah.
and but nice restaurant. I remember we got Caesar salads beforehand, and there were like actual anchovies in it.
Yeah.
When they fed us, but like white linen
Yeah.
tablecloths, and then we roll in to throw an emo night, and it got rowdy.
Hmm.
It got. I mean, we were able. It took a little while to get them going, and it was a later crowd, but
It was a good time.
it was a good time. And I remember the same thing. Like, I mean, there was just glass everywhere on the floor from because they served their drinks in glasses because it's a nice bar. And I
Yeah.
remember the guys who were cleaning up at the end of the night were just like, "Yo, when are you guys coming back?" And I did not expect that. I thought they were just gonna be like, "Never again. This is it." Like this was too much, but they liked it.
Yeah. I don't even know if that place is still open. I think that
COVID was probably tough
folded.
for them. That's a big impact.
Well, no, I think it folded before COVID.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. I gotta
And
check.
the Works. It's part of the Works. That big building in Reading there.
Big
Why?
joint. Yeah, yeah. Why Lucy?
Yep.
Why I'm missing?
Why missing?
Yeah.
And then Philly, we did the train station,
Yeah.
something station.
Oh God.
The
I know that I remember the dude's name Tubby, but
Yeah, awesome guy. I'm friends with him on. So this guy
what was in
grew up.
yeah.
It's like right outside Doylestown. This guy grew up with like the guys from the starting line and stuff. So he was like a big pop punk emo fan. So like I think he partially booked us just because he loves the music.
Right.
But again, another
No.
just like really cool night. He definitely loved it. I think that one was I thought was going to be a disaster off the bat because some girl like jumped off stage and just
Yeah,
like
she like busted her ass right in the beginning, right?
busted her ass like song two, just busted her.
Like, oh my God, she dead?
Yeah, I thought that was the end of that. And then by the end of the night, he was like up on stage with us and everything, and
Yeah.
it was a weird divide at first because it was like, I mean that area has money and it's definitely like you have like country club like polo wearing people like in the back of the bar, and then like these emo people going nuts in the front. But everybody kind of was of the age that grew up with like at least a little bit of that. So by the end, you just had like the most prim and proper girls up there like screaming all time low and Paramore. Paramore always gets them going,
Yeah.
you know.
For the girls, especially the more pop uh leaning leaning girls. And I think that was one wasn't that one of the more poppy ones we had to lean towards. They didn't like some of the deep cuts didn't really hit down there.
Yeah, the owner was requesting like the real deep stuff. Like stuff that
Right.
I was just like I would never even think to play that or those
Right.
bands, and he was like, "Oh, can you get it?" And we were playing it, and like him and some of his friends were loving it, but like we were losing the because it wasn't a huge. We definitely had to go like more like Good Charlotte and Sum
Yeah.
41 and the radio songs. And
Mhm.
Paramore is definitely like one of the most radio friendly of the bands that came out of that scene. So that's pretty cool. And then
Yeah, that one that night came way out of left. How I got hooked up with that because it came through a guy that I never met in person. Uh, a guy that I had tried to book in the area, and it never really went through because he's on the radio down in Philly on Saturday nights. So he never actually came up to play, and I never met him, but he saw that we were doing it online, on Facebook and Instagram and stuff, and he hit me up and he's like, a friend of mine has a place and I think this would do good there. You should talk to him. Word of mouth. It was
yeah,
crazy.
I mean I think they're like Keith always whenever I so Keith is our photographer, Keith Perks, and he's gonna be on the next episode. But I credit a lot of what we do to hiring Keith to come out and take pictures too, because
Yeah.
those pictures get miles. I think like people aren't coming out to have their photo taken, but when they're there, they want to have that new profile picture, that new Instagram picture, or whatever. And those pictures are the best marketing we could ever do.
Oh man, those
It's
pictures are fantastic.
yeah, I mean Keith's so talented, so they're phenomenal, but it's all you see on Facebook for the next 2 weeks after people sharing those
Mhm.
pictures, and it's awesome. So if you guys do that, don't stop. We love when you do that. And then I think the videos that we invested in really helped too, because that's just showing like this is a party, and we're not tearing the roof off, we're not causing damage, but people are having a good time, and you want that. If you look at those videos, you want that at your bar.
Yeah, that's the best.
So I think that's definitely a lot of credit to Keith for helping with our marketing efforts, for
Wish
sure.
I could. I wish we could do more for Keith.
I know
We throw women at him. We throw all kinds of things at him. He's just very humble and appreciative just to be there.
he's the most humble. Keith has saw some stuff.
He's definitely had opportunities to see more.
He certainly has. So yeah, Hersh and I are both. Well, I'm married, and he's in a monogamous relationship, and there's a lot of girls there, and Keith's a single guy, and we try. He's just very humble and very professional when he's at work, but
Yeah.
he's definitely that the beard is it gets them every time. But yeah, he there's been some stuff. So that I guess that's a good segue though. What surprised you the most, or what's been something that you've seen, or one of your favorite moments, or multiple, but like some of the crazier things memories that you have from these events?
Oh Jesus. Uh, Probably one of like the craziest things is absolutely Josh coming out in the coffin. Who like What? How do you even tell somebody? Yeah, they carried him in a closed coffin, and he just like popped out of it like the Undertaker.
So, yeah. So to explain that a little bit, especially if you're watching or if you're listening to the audio version, if you're an emo kid, you know the music video Helena by My Chemical Romance. So in that video, obviously Helena is the ballerina and she's dancing and she ends falling in the coffin, and they all carry her with the umbrellas. So we had asked Josh Balls, from The Strange and Unusual and Strange Kids and formerly of Motionless in White, to be like a special guest DJ at one of our, I think it was like our Christmas show like 2 or 3 years ago, and he agreed. He's been very supportive of the emo night overall, but he just texted me and he's like, tell them to unlock the doors at 10:30. He's like, and play Helena. And I was like, okay. I just thought he was gonna like walk through the crowd and come up on stage or whatever. And he's like, only red lights. So like, all right. So we put on red strobes, and all of a sudden the crowd starts parting, and a full-on casket is coming through the crowd, and then gets brought right onto stage, put down, and the door flies open, and he just like sits up out of it and like throws some flowers out in the crowd or whatever, and then just like goes behind the DJ booth to play some songs.
I remember it almost being an enormous disaster too, because they put it down on like the wheel thing, and it almost fell off, and I couldn't believe. I was like, oh my god, this is gonna fall over on the stage and kill like everybody.
Yeah,
Oh,
I do remember that. And then,
very
I mean, so
lucky.
we've had a couple guests. We've had Craig Owens from Kyoto's, which was insane. I mean,
Yeah,
I grew up listening to Kyoto's. They were a very big band in this scene, and I mean, I was expecting people to be excited, but when he came on stage, like people like lost it.
yeah,
Um, and it's a weird line because like we want everybody on stage with us. Like the more people I can get on stage, the better, because that's
mhm,
part of the show. But when you have these big guests, they necessarily don't want to be completely mobbed for their entire like whatever half hour, 25 minute set that they're going to do behind the DJ thing. And Hersh necessarily doesn't want like beer all over his equipment and his hard drive ending up in the middle of the crowd or anything like that.
yeah,
So that was pretty intense, and but he was a pretty cool guy.
yeah.
He did his thing, and it was definitely gracious about it. And we're gonna do some more with him. We were booked for two more with him that ended up getting canceled because of COVID, and there's still like tickets sold for those and deposits out. So like when this is good, we'll have one at State College and one in Harrisburg with him, I think.
Oh yeah, we never made it to State College, did we?
No, that one didn't
Damn.
happen. We will. We'll get there. That
Yeah.
deposit's out there. He's already paid in full.
He definitely puts on a show too, you know. He's the front man, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, he knows how to work he knew how to work the crowd. Like he was great back there. He was very involved with it, you know. He made it a good time.
I mean, he's been the front man, which is interesting. So there's like Johnny Craig and Craig Owens in the emo scene, right? And they've both been the front man of like 6 huge bands, and they even were in one band together where they were like both front men of it. So like they're just like known to have been in like so there and a lot of bands we play. So like Kyotos and Emerosa and Drugs, which that one drug song always kills when we play it. But it's like D.R.U.G. Destroy,
Oh,
rebuild until God shows. But
okay.
yeah, he was great. What'd you think of the Franz show? I mean, the show itself was a little lackluster because we were kind of just hired guns at that. We didn't promote it. But what'd you think of him?
I'm trying to remember. This was the Harrisburg
That was
show.
Harrisburg, yeah.
I mean, yeah, the show didn't hit all that well, but I mean, he was all right. He definitely was playing. Wasn't he playing some deeper stuff too?
Yeah,
And
he's
it was heavy,
real heavy stuff. Yeah,
heavy things. Yeah, he even asked for some weird things. He like asked me to play Jay-Z or something.
yeah, yeah.
I
So
forget.
he
Yeah,
owns a rap label.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna buy. Well, he's trying to buy Warped Tour and bring it back too. Like he out of that like scene like kind of worked the business side of it really well and like actually made a lot of money in comparison to a lot of those guys are broke now from the lower level bands. But Attila's still on tour and doing some stuff. But yeah, he was. I wasn't sure. His online persona is like I don't know, wouldn't mesh well with me. So I was like kind of worried about that show. But he in person he was pretty cool. So that was neat. And then we also had what's it? Ryan Key from Yellow Card.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We had that. Um,
We
I don't
had
think
that.
what's that?
We had that.
Yeah, he wasn't really there for us. He kind of split. He kind of played and walked out the door. So that was kind of the end of that one.
Yeah, and don't think that I'm like weird because most of the time you're dealing with these guys and I'm on stage doing whatever to fill time or so a lot of stuff I don't see like don't get like the wrong impression, you know what I mean?
Oh no, not at all. No.
That's for the people out there.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I don't get to see all the stuff that goes on because I'm doing other things and Joe's handling business, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he kind of played and left. I'm a nice enough guy. Wasn't really I don't think he really wanted to listen to emo music that night though. He wanted to play his
No.
songs and
Yeah.
skedaddle
Right.
at least. But we do have some other cool stuff planned when we come back. We're gonna do some stuff with JT from Hawthorne Heights. There's been a lot of back and forth there. He's a great guy, so that'll be pretty cool. But I guess so you're coming from not an emo background, right?
Correct.
So
Yes.
pre this, what was your impression or familiarity with emo music?
More, the pop side, everything that was big, in the late 90s, early 2000s, type stuff, the Good Charlotte, the Sum 41, the Blink 182, a little bit of My Chemical Romance, the stuff that was really big,
Fall Out Boy.
Yeah, Fall Out Boy. It wasn't necessarily my thing, but and I knew of it, but years ago, I was around some people that were into that kind of thing, and that was early on when I was DJing. I didn't really start until after 2000 DJing. So back then, my musical horizons weren't as broad. When you first come out of high school, you're like focused on what you're focused on.
But yeah,
Before you learn, all the intricacies and the finer aspects of all kinds of music. So I went to the school on the hill in the Heights in GAR. You know what I mean? So there was definitely a hip hop background for me from the jump, and like I said early on, that's what I knew, and it wasn't until later on until I got into just about everything.
what so like it's probably fair to say that 90% of the songs that when we first started that I would send you had never heard before.
Yeah.
Right. So what was your like the first time I sent you a playlist, or like maybe not the first couple because the first few at the Bog were just bangers for the most part. But when we started getting into like doing a full night of like 5 hours of music, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I started like having to pull in not having to, but we started experimenting a little more, and we started pulling in like some heavier stuff and some deeper cuts, like the first time you heard like an Under Oath or stuff like that. Like what was your impression of that stuff? Like the screamo.
Well, that I had heard some of that stuff, like heavy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that wasn't like too far out of left field. It was like the other odd names that I hadn't heard of, like that Modern Baseball and
Yeah.
Oh Jesus, who else? There was just that one stuck out to me, and
Man Overboard. Or
yeah,
The Wonder Years, stuff like that.
the
Like
Wonder Years, yeah, things like that.
more of the new age pop punk stuff.
Yeah.
Has there ever been anything that like I've sent you I'm not asking to name it or anything, but like anything I've ever sent you and you were like, this is trash, like this is never gonna work, that has kind of hit? Or
Uh, I mean, I was constantly surprised.
yeah.
Constantly surprised. I was like, wow, where does this come from?
Right.
You know, like I said, that wasn't my scene, and I was like, you constantly find things out that you wouldn't, necessarily never thought of before, you know, and some of the stuff, you can end up playing to the more well-rounded crowds, and it crosses over. You know what I mean? Like, oh, surprise me, Jesus. Some of that My Chemical Romance stuff that wasn't, bigger hits
Right.
like that. Uh, what's the one that's Say Goodnight, So Long, Say Goodnight, So Long
Helena,
and Good Night.
so long
Yeah,
and
yeah,
goodbye.
that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they like that.
That should be the closing song every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that should be the
Oh, so
closing
long and
song.
good night. Yeah, it's actually
Yeah.
a good idea. Hey, suggest that.
Suggest that.
I like that. Um, as they're like, I guess so. You, as a DJ, you've been doing it forever, and is there any like challenges to doing this as compared to doing a regular night of music, or anything
Yeah,
that's annoying about it? Or I
yeah,
mean, yeah, okay, I want to hear this.
yeah,
Spill the
yeah.
tea, Frank.
Absolutely. You can't play any other version than the actual version of the song. You can't. There's no variants. There's no short edit. Like, you only want to do the first minute and a half of something that has the meat and potatoes of the song, like you would in a regular instance. Uh, you can't necessarily mix any of it together.
Mhm.
Uh, like, you could match tempo and stuff and key, but you don't need to worry about doing a regular transition from song to song. Doesn't matter. They want to hear what they know, and they want to sing as they know it.
Right.
I mean, that to me is definitely something I had to adjust to,
Yeah, I
because you
think
just
we've
don't.
tried to play some like remixes and stuff, and
Yeah, like,
they
I
don't.
have a a great edit version with, like a heavier drum and bass line for oh Christ, what's the song in the middle,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
the world, and they're just like, oh, this is a little different than we know. So, even though it's really close, it's not the same.
Mhm.
you know like DJ Cool's in the background screaming rock it right now,
Right,
and they're like, what the fuck is going on?
because they're trying to
That's
sing
not.
along.
Yeah,
That's like the big factor to it, right? I guess that throws you.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's interesting.
so you don't necessarily have to maintain a certain tempo or vibe. We switch wildly throughout the songs. We could have, one or two real heavy and like high energy songs, and then bring it down, and they're just as happy to hear that too.
Yeah,
you
and
know
the vocal drops. That's my specialty. That's
right.
what I know how to do on the DJ. Drop out.
You know the part that everybody knows
Yeah, you
to
turn it off.
sing.
Let them sing along.
Yeah, yeah.
I
We get a
think.
little carried away sometimes, but
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Sometimes or sometimes restart the song 3 times.
I can't let you out of my sight.
DJ K.
I need a bathroom break, and I come back, and Joe's like hitting a fader with his ball sack, and like throwing his hands in the air and turning the songs off in the middle, and starting them over. Like, what happened?
These things happen. I think one of the cool things is, for me at least, so I love the more people on stage the better, right?
Yeah.
Security doesn't love that. I know that already. Steve gets a little sweaty palmed about it at Stage West. For you, I mean, I know you can't love it, but what's going through your head as you're behind these tables, as like these people are rushing on stage or jumping along or jumping around? I mean, no matter where you are, you're gonna have like the drunk girl with the beer that's trying to like talk to the DJ. That's like a common annoyance or whatever. But like you're basically like DJing in the middle of a mosh pit sometimes, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's what. How do you make it less likely for something to get broken?
Right.
Things, especially when there's alcohol involved, people tend to not have spatial awareness
Right.
of what they're doing and how close they are to things, and they bang into shit. Like if you ever seen House Party, stop bumping the table. I'm trying to mix this, that, and the other thing, and then beers are flying. The one time they knocked the computer right off the table, and the whole thing stopped for 30 seconds, like no music. I was like, oh shit, my hard drive hit the ground. We're done. Thank God that didn't happen. But
He salvaged it. That thing was 3 rows deep.
uh,
But I remember watching it happen too, and I just couldn't react. But like the stage at Stage West is, well, he's shirted up a little bit since, but it was plywood.
yeah.
So normally people are walking on that and they're like in different rhythm, but it was like the perfect happenstance where everybody was so in sync that they all jumped at the same time. So they all went down and they all came up, and the whole stage just kind of turned into a wave. And they went up and the table went up with them. And the laptop just slowly soared out into the crowd. And my heart slowly dropped.
I almost caught it too, like between my fingers. Almost.
They cleared it though.
Didn't
They cleared
happen.
it. We got it back.
Oh
I don't think we
man.
missed a beat because I think they just sang the song.
Yeah, it was so close. It was so close to the end, to being the end of the night halfway through.
Yeah, it was pretty early on too.
Hmm.
So that was yeah, that was that was tough. But and then I mean, what stands out to you like from the crowds and the people? Like how are, like, is there anything like about the people that come out and the kind of evening it is that like that you particularly like, or that's like really stands out to you?
Yeah, they love the music above anything else. They love it. They know it by heart. They scream. They're happy to be there. They want it to keep going. You don't see that. I mean, you just don't. You could have the best night ever, and you'll never see that happen in a regular format. It's just it's probably pretty unique to that style and the kind of event we have.
So it's interesting you say that, especially like the knowing and singing the words. So like, do you remember MTV Unplugged?
Yeah.
So like the bands that did MTV Unplugged are huge bands, right? So you have like
Mhm.
Nirvana and REM and stuff like that. Dashboard Confessional did the last MTV Unplugged as basically an unknown band, and they did it
Wow.
because they put him in a room with his acoustic guitar because somebody saw him at a show and just know that every single person knew every single word to every song and would scream their lungs out to it. And
Wow.
that there's like a whole CD of Dashboard Unplugged, and it's like wild because I don't know that the lead singer of Dashboard sings more than 3 words on any song. It's just the crowd and him like playing part of the song and them singing it. So that's been like and that was early, like in this like emo revival of like the early 2000s. Like that was probably like 2002, 2003. MTV was still doing music a little bit. So
Was that released as a record?
yeah, I don't know that it was ever even on TV. I think it went right to DVD.
Really? Oh, but as a CD?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I
Wow.
think we play the like I think that's the version of Screaming Infidelities that we normally play,
Oh, okay.
the more live one. But yeah,
Alright.
are there any songs that like that have been in this that like now you like that you've never heard before that you're into now, or that that have grown on you a little bit? I catch you like mouthing the words sometimes, or like getting into it a little bit now.
Yeah, there's a few. There's a few.
Yeah,
Um, I haven't been doing music at all,
right.
you know, so I haven't listened to anything but uh, constantly just I'm trying to keep up on what's coming out that's new. So other than that, I haven't listened to anything. Like I'm just trying to stay in a place right now where when music does come back that I can go and play the stuff that's relevant.
Right.
Because the stuff that I play on a regular basis at the bars and stuff is not necessarily stuff I listen to either.
Right.
So I really haven't listened to anything.
Yeah, on TikTok now?
No.
That's where all the songs are coming from, man.
No.
Why You Always
I
in the
can't.
Mood? Do you know
I
that
can't
one?
do it. Yeah, nobody likes that song.
Everybody. It's like one of the biggest songs in the world.
No, nobody really likes that song.
What about WAP?
That it's never going to be as big as it should have been.
Right? Imagine like that song missing the ability to be played in a club when it was at its peak, right?
It would have been Bodak Yellow. That was her second one. That would have kept her alive.
Yep.
Now she's done.
You think so?
Yeah.
And then
It's already gone. It's already gone to that new girl. It's already gone.
Well, you like that song that I put up the other day, the driver's license song, right?
Oh, well, yeah, I heard of that. How did I hear that? I think I heard Seacrest talking about it on the radio in the morning. But I was like, what is this song? And then I got out of the car, so I didn't hear. But then I saw the video, and I was like, oh my God, this girl's on a TV show on Disney.
Yeah.
Something my daughter watches. So I'm like, oh, I know who that girl is. It's some goofy show about them making videos. This is a show about them making videos, her and this other person.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about her. I just know it broke the Spotify stream 2 days in a row of all time.
That girl is on the show that she was on Disney. She's on the same show that the one Paul brother is on.
Oh,
they came out of the same show.
That explains it. That definitely explains it.
Yeah.
But
crazy.
I mean, but it's been neat because a couple times you've sent me like songs, like emo songs that I wasn't privy to yet. Like I think it was the Simple Plan song that they did.
Yeah, the new Simple Plan.
You like that one, and then just not that long ago, you sent me another one that you like texted it to me.
What the heck was it?
I don't know, but
there's so much that goes through. You know,
you beat me to the punch though. Like I was like, oh wow, I didn't even know that came out. So you got your finger on the pulse, which.
I see. Yeah, like I said, if it's coming out and it's new and it's coming across, I'll listen to it just to make sure, because I always got to have everything.
Right. Well, that's the key.
Mm-hmm. Now, I mean, I hope that when there's time we can play that and they'll know it. But like I said, there's no way to know if they like it right now. I don't know.
Yeah, without a doubt. Like I think. The song that I was surprised, because I wasn't necessarily playing it for anybody else, but it was like right after Kreger passed away, and we played that one by the Wonder Years, but like the really sad, like slow song.
Mm.
And like I don't know that we ever had a reaction like that before to any song. And like I remember being like, yo, you might have to cut this one because I don't know how to go. And you were just like, I think we found a song we have to play every time now.
Yeah.
That one hit. Cigarettes and Saints and Cigarettes.
Okay.
That one, I remember that one surprised me because I was just like, this kind of like fits the mood at the moment. But that was kind of neat.
There's been a few of those where we're like, we don't know, but sometimes you just have to let it breathe for a minute, you know.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because like what they like in Scranton. Definitely way different than what they like in Lancaster, which is different than what they liked in, like when we were in Reading. Like they were. Well, I mean, the one girl just kept girl, I think, just kept screaming Evanescence in our face.
Oh God, I do remember that. Yeah,
like those are some of my favorite. So
I know you like trying to explain what emo music is to some of these people.
Yeah, well, that's my like. So I come from like I was like an emo kid, like that was me. That was through and through. It's how I met Amanda. It's, ingrained in me. So I'm definitely like a purist or a gatekeeper of emo or whatever, I guess. And so like when somebody's like Papa Roach is emo, and I'm like, no, it's definitely like cheesy, like emotional music, but it's butt rock. Like don't throw it in there. Like I like that. Like if we ever played Papa Roach, like it would kill me. That would kill me. Evanescence not so much, like that's like whatever, but that would definitely kill me.
Yeah, I know you don't like that song.
Oh, I don't.
And there are times that I know it will work.
Oh, it would definitely work.
I know. Yeah.
I mean,
You just hate it.
my favorite thing that you worked in, and you definitely regret doing it, is the Slayer Mohama mashup.
Right. Yeah, I don't know how much longer that's
It's
gonna be
probably
able
over.
to.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
it's over at this point.
Yeah.
But I actually found the other day, I fell down a rabbit hole and found I think they were a DJ group or a producer group or something, but they did mashups and they were called Legion of Doom.
Okay.
And they did this is like 2006. They released an album of all emo mashups.
Wow.
And it was pretty
Did you
cool.
download it?
What's that?
Do you have it? Did you download
Yeah, I
it?
downloaded it. I'm gonna email it to you. I
Okay.
found it on like a torrent site, but it's old, and but they mixed, they did a really good job of mixing, so it's 50 50 50% of the songs on the album, I think it's 14 songs, are actual like the ones Screaming Infidelities and Jude Law in A Semester Abroad, perfectly mashed up. But then some of them are real there's a Nas song mixed with a Yellow Card song, but really well done. So some of that stuff I think we could maybe work in and see how that works. I mean, we've played
Sure.
before, so
Mm-hmm.
it's happened. But yeah, so guys, I just wanted to go over this. I mean, Hersh and I are Screaming Infidelities, and he's really the brains behind the DJing part of it, because I would not know what to do up there. As we know, you just have an iPad with me turning the volume off every once in a while if it was anything else. And he's also he's a creative thinker, because we usually will ask about 2 to 3 times with confetti at a venue before they shut it down. And he's the genius behind the crypto, or the
CO2.
CO2 cannon.
CO2 cannon's a big thing, man.
Yeah, they love it. I feel like I'm Skrillex up there. Just
it's expensive to do it, but it's great for when you have it.
I think it definitely. I mean, I think so. That's what I think is different. Is we're throwing a party, and we have these people that want to come, but we're also like the thought that I think we both put into the whole evening as a whole. When we drop balloons, it's planned for certain songs. When we shoot confetti, it's planned for certain songs, and it's planned for certain parts of the night. There's a science behind it. There's a science behind advertising it. There's when we post things, how many days out we post it, when we shoot the confetti off that night, so that it isn't all at the last song, or it's not all, so there a lot of thought goes into these emo nights.
Oh yeah, it's not willy-nilly.
No.
Come on, man. That's not how it works.
So as Max Bemis says, you goddamn kids better be gracious with that merch money you spend.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm looking forward to getting back at it.
We're
someday.
all looking forward to it.
Yeah. We will be back as soon as it's safe and we're all vaccinated. And want to thank you guys for listening. I want to thank Hersh for being on here and talking. We're going to be doing these every week. Next up is Keith Perks. And then we have Julia Yanowski. Yanowsko?
I think it's Yanowski.
Yanowski. My brain's fried. The queen of the emo nights. She's always up front. She's really the face of a lot of our advertising and everything. We pay her in free T-shirts whenever she wants one, because she definitely is deserving of it. So we're super excited to have these guests on, and we're hoping that we can connect with you guys. And if you're an emo kid out there that has a story to tell, hit us up and we'll have you on, and we'll talk some emo. And until we can be back live at a venue, this is the best we can offer you. We had talked about trying to do a virtual one, but we would get shut down super quick.
Yeah.
And
we couldn't put it on anything
in my house would just piss my wife off and not do much else for anybody.
As long as it's in your house.
Yeah. So guys, thank you very much. That's all we have for you. Cheer up, emo kids. We'll be back again next week.
All right, man. Peace.